The night we missed each other by 9 minutes, the city felt louder than usual. Your last text said, "Good morning," while my alarm said, "Try again." If you're here for managing time zone differences in relationships, you already know the ache of calling into the quiet. Love is patient, but clocks can be cruel. On my side, a crisp winter wind rattled the window. On yours, humid afternoon light painted the desk gold. We were living in parallel scenes that refused to overlap. It wasn't a lack of love. It was a lack of time that touched. We talk about this at Whispered Hearts. English, because distance doesn't end a relationship by itself. Invisible schedules start to drain it. Research shows routine lowers anxiety. Therapists report that couples who name their rhythms argue less and reconnect faster. The trick is designing a rhythm you both can keep. But there's something even quieter under the calendar and the call. Time zones shape how your nervous system trusts. If your partner is asleep when you need them, your body reads that as absence. If you miss each other 3 days in a row, your brain whispers stories that aren't fair. Naming that biology is not an excuse, it's a map. We learned to tell the truth about how time felt in our bones. I said, "Mornings make me hopeful." I want your voice then. You said, "Late nights make me soft." I need your comfort there. When we said it out loud, conflict lost some of its mystery. It stopped being personal and started being physics. Have you noticed your best emotional window? Is it sunrise with coffee or the hour after dinner when the house goes quiet? Ask for that time on purpose, then protect it like a shared front door. Here's the curiosity that changed everything for us. What if time wasn't the enemy? What if it could be a tool? We started treating time like a resource to budget together. Suddenly, the clock was on our side more often than not. We mapped our days and shaded the overlaps. 2 small windows glowed on the page. The first was my dawn and your late night. The second was my lunch and your late afternoon. We chose 1 primary call and 1 quick check-in. We wrote them on a shared calendar with an alarm that felt like a friend. But there's something even smarter than a schedule. Kindness about who bends and when. We rotated the hard hours weekly, so no one lived in permanent jet lag. On my week, I woke early and called with a sleepy smile. On yours, you stayed up a little late with a blanket and tea. Fairness kept resentment from sneaking in under the door. We also learned that time zones have seasons. Daylight saving changes shift the math. Holidays disrupt routines. We marked those dates in advance and planned a temporary pattern. The plan didn't need to be perfect. It needed to be mutual and real. Have you noticed how a plan lowers your shoulders? Even a small one helps. Pick 2 anchor times this week. Put them on the calendar. Then treat everything else as bonus love. But there's something even quieter holding connection together than live calls. Asynchronous affection carries you through the hours in between. We traded voice notes, like letters with breath still in them. I recorded the sizzle of a skillet and the city bus braking outside. You sent the sound of rain on your balcony and the laugh you saved for me. We built rituals that worked while the other slept. A morning photo of the sky, no caption needed. A bedtime note with a single sentence about the day's best moment. A shared playlist that grew by 1 song each Friday. The small things added up like interest. We started to feel rich again. We turned delivery into timing, too. You scheduled flowers to arrive with my lunch on a hard Wednesday. I timed a package so you'd open it at breakfast. Inside was a postcard and a silly keychain that looked like our first apartment plant. The distance shrank because the moment felt held. But there's something even sweeter than gifts. Shared time you can touch from different places. We invented shadow dates. I brewed tea at dawn while you made yours at dusk. We pressed play on the same short video and texted 3 thoughts after. 10 minutes later, we were more connected than after an hour of rushed small talk. We used bookend messages to shape the day, a quick morning note to set tone, a night wrap to land the plane. Not novels, just a handful of lines and a photo of something ordinary. Streetlights fading, spring rain on the sidewalk, toast that got a little too dark. Ordinary becomes holy when your person can see it. Have you noticed which small ritual would fit your life right now? One photo at the same time every day. One question you always answer. Try it for a week and watch what softens. But there's something even more important than sweet routines. Repair. One night you waited for me and fell asleep on the couch. I woke to 3 missed calls and a tight chest. If we had let the story write itself, it would have gone dark. Instead, we went straight to repair choreography. Safety first. Same team. Then empathy. I was scared I slipped on your list. I felt embarrassed I couldn't stay awake. Then action. Let's move late calls earlier for this week. I'll leave a backup note if I sense I'm fading. The tension left the room like a draft, finally finding a window. We protected our sleep like it was part of the relationship. Because it is. No 2 a.m. arguments. No answering hard texts from bed. We set no buzz hours and told each other why. My morning is my anchor. Your evening is your exhale. Guarding those times kept us kind. Have you noticed how much better you love after rest? Put your oxygen mask on, then dial. Tired couples are dramatic. Rested couples are brave. But there's something even quieter that keeps love alive across clocks. Meaning. We named why timing mattered. Mornings tell me we are starting together. Nights tell you we are ending on purpose. Once we named that, compromise felt like honoring values, not surrendering rights. We got creative with parallel life. I took you on a walking tour of my commute with short clips. You sent heat shimmer video from your street at noon. I mailed a tiny jar of beach sand from the summer we spent together. You sent a leaf from an autumn tree near your window. We made a little museum of our 2 cities on a shelf. Therapists report that couples stay resilient when they share a picture of the future. We kept a note titled "Someday Soon." It held the brunch spot we would visit, the train we would ride, the movie we would finish together. We added to it on slow Sundays and let hope tidy the distance. Have you noticed how hope changes the taste of waiting? Name one thing for your "someday soon" list in the comments. Someone else might borrow it, and you'll both feel braver. But there's something even more practical that saved our sanity. Clear signals for availability. We used a trio of emojis as a status code. Sun meant open to chat. Cloud meant text only in the middle of work. Moon meant asleep or offline. It looked simple. It was actually a language of care. We also wrote a short time zone bio and pinned it in our chat. It listed our normal sleep windows, anchor call times, and emergency plan. If something went wrong, we knew who to call near each other. The bio turned panic into steps. We learned to ask for context as kindly as we asked for time. Your culture answers immediately to show respect. Mine answers when the thought is complete to show care. We taught each other our cues, so delayed replies stopped feeling like distance. A quick "with family" reply later now reads like love. Have you noticed what your default speed says in your world? Share that translation with your partner. It can save 3 fights you do not need to have. But there's something even quieter than context: community that understands the math. We asked 2 close friends to be anchors. When one of us was asleep after a hard day, an anchor would meet the other for coffee or a walk. Loneliness fell off its throne. The load got lighter because it was shared. We also practiced seasonal kindness. In summer, we leaned into early calls before heat and noise. In winter, we picked cozy late afternoons for longer talks. In spring, the rain on your screen sounded like a lullaby at my bedtime. In autumn, we watched leaves tumble on different streets at the same moment and felt less far. We kept our milestones with timing magic. On your birthday, I scheduled a string of messages to arrive on your morning hours. On our anniversary, we split the celebration. You had breakfast cake while I had a sunset toast. We video called for 10 minutes right in the middle and let our faces do most of the talking. Therapists report that milestone rituals protect relationships under strain. Research shows predictability soothes the nervous system. We didn't need grand gestures. We needed marks on the calendar that felt like a hand on the shoulder. Have you noticed which date wants attention this month? Pick one tiny ritual: a shared poem, a matching mug, a song at the same time. Mark it now before the week runs you. But there's something even more grounding than dates: honest bandwidth. We stopped pretending we could be available all the time. We said, I can give you 20 present minutes tonight. I can send a good voice note now and a long call tomorrow. Quality replaced guilt. We had more to give. We used technology as a bridge, not a leash. Shared calendar with your time zone set to mine. World clock on both phones. Alarms labeled with each other's names. We triple-checked daylight saving switches and laughed at ourselves when we still messed up. The laughter mattered more than the precision. Whispered hearts. English exists for this kind of care. Not to sell a perfect system, but to give you a porch light and a gentler plan. If you've been white-knuckling your love through mismatched clocks, you belong here. We're building rooms where your hope can rest. We practiced public boundaries, so others respected our anchors. I can't join a late meeting. That's our call window. I leave early on Wednesdays. It's non-negotiable. People learned. The ones who didn't adjust told us who they were. Our future thanked us. We also grew smarter about long calls. We set a warm open, a center, and a soft close. Open with a small sensory share: the smell of coffee, the sound of rain. Center with one topic that matters. Close with affection and a line about tomorrow. The structure kept us from wandering into stress right before good night. Have you noticed how often fatigue turns good intentions into short tempers? We planned resets when either of us felt thin. A cat video, a stretch, a sip of water, and a promise to return. Breaks are not abandonment. They are maintenance for the bridge you're both walking on. But there's something even quieter that proves love every day. Showing up on time for the times you chose together. Not every day. Most days. The reliability writes a story your nervous systems can trust. That story keeps you warm when the clock is cold. We started ending some calls with a time capsule. One sentence about who we're becoming. We saved them in a note we'll read when we finally share a kitchen again. The sentences are small and brave. I'm learning patience. You are learning gentleness. We are learning to make distance carry us, not break us. What's your secret for staying close across time zones? Tell us below. Share a ritual, a hack, a phrase that helps at midnight. Someone is scrolling who needs exactly what you've learned the hard way. Tonight, write a tiny time zone bio and pin it. Choose your 2 anchor windows and set friendly alarms. Record a voice note that sounds like your real room, not a postcard. Let your presence be ordinary and honest and enough. Tomorrow, mail a letter. Not for the words alone, for the stamp, for the proof that time traveled and love traveled with it. Then walk around the block and look at the sky your partner will see in a different hour. It's still the same sky. It still makes room. And when you finally catch each other, your sunset to my dawn, my laughter to your quiet, you will feel how strong you've become. Not in spite of the distance, because of the way you learned to meet it together. That is the patient, daily work of managing time zone differences in relationships, and you are already doing more right than you know.